Is the point guard position the most star-studded position in the league? Well, looking at the list of players we got today, I feel like we're going to end up with a top-heavy tier list. But starting with Cade Cunningham, Smasher, what are his stats?
Yeah, Cade Cunningham on the season is averaging 23, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 3.8 turnovers, and shooting 45% from the field, 33% from 3, and 87% from the free throw line. He has been possibly one of the only bright spots for the Pistons, and now he's injured.
I mean, just a really, really difficult to judge Cade Cunningham based off this season. I mean, you can see that he's probably much better than his numbers say, but it's really difficult to do anything of any sort in this Pistons offense. If I was
I'll
gonna put
straight
him in there,
away.
I think he's probably an A tier player, but I just don't know based on,
Yeah, with his
his team is
stats,
just bad.
I'd be putting him top of B.
I want.
I think top of B's.
I was also gonna say like low A, because something tells me, as somebody who does not watch a lot of Pistons games, that a lot of those turnovers are not his fault.
They are, but
I
it's also
watch
because
Pistons
he's not
game.
the main ball handler.
Yeah, he gets a lot of turnovers, but we're forgetting he does average 7 assists and 4 turnovers, which isn't great. But also, I do watch Pistons games, and some of those turnovers, he just throws it straight to Jaden Ivey, and Jaden Ivey will just drop the ball. I mean, and they don't
I
look
do
good.
think top of B though. It's a very top heavy point guard list. You got to think of all the
Yeah.
players here. That there are a lot of players that are still better than him, but he's still a really good player. Top of B, it means he's well above average. Next up, we got CJ McCollum, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.3 steals, and 0.7 blocks. 46% field goal, 44% from 3, 80% from the free throw line. He is very underrated.
I mean, I guess, I suppose he's underrated. I just no, yeah, I would agree. No one really talks about him, but he does put up good numbers as kind of a third option type of guy. I think he's probably. Oh, would I rather have him or Cade Cunningham though? I just don't know.
Cade, in my opinion.
I mean, Cade is
Yeah,
single-handedly carrying a ass
yeah.
offense.
And Cade's also got some incredible size for the position. He's like what
But I
six
would
seven at
definitely
point guard.
say he's still a B tier with that efficiency. He is a
Yeah.
really efficient player, and man, is he good. Next, we got my goat, Kobe Froby White. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Uh, Shooting 45% field goal, 40% from 3, 81% free throw. All jokes aside, similar to CJ McCollum, but worse efficiency. So he's definitely below CJ. I want to hear everyone out whether you think B or C.
I really like Kobe White. I think honestly, if Zach LaVine wasn't on his team, he'd be averaging a good 20 points and maybe
Well,
6 assists.
yes, those
But he
stats went
is.
crazy when Zach LaVine
So I
wasn't
really
on
like
the
Kobe
team.
White. I think he's a B tier type of player here. The stats don't tell you everything. You know what I mean? He's great and he's a lot of fun, honestly. So I
I'll
think B is
agree
good
and
for
put him
him.
there with my Bulls bias. So, yes, I love
What an
Kobe White.
ass.
He's the only thing I like about the Bulls. Cole Anthony is the next player. He's averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists, zero point 0.8 steals, 44% field goal, 33% from 3, and 83% from the free throw line. I want to like Cole Anthony and I like him as a guy, but man, is he having a bad season.
I hate this MF. As a Magic fan, I hate this MF so much.
Why does he just run around bricking shots? Is that all he does?
That's what the entirety of the Magic does. Like, it
I
pisses me
really like
off.
him and I want to like him, but he's just not very good. He can have his
Yeah.
good games, like, for example, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists isn't bad, but, like, when that's your top, I would say Cole Anthony's in D tier.
I would put him in like bottom of C for now, but
I just
as the
think
tier list goes
that
along more, I would
efficiency,
be open to moving him back down to D.
that efficiency is just so bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
I would not oppose a high D, but at the same time, he has the ability to like actually be good. Like in November against Charlotte, where he dropped 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Even then, you got to think 30 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. That's like a all right Cade game. Like Cade can easily drop that, and that's not his best performance of the season.
Absolutely.
I'll put him bottom of
Cade
C
had
for now,
back-to-back 40 bombs in
but I
losses.
think he could definitely move. Next up, we've got Colin Sexman. 17 points, 2.6 rebounds, 4 assists, 0.7 steals, 48% field goal, and 37% three-point with 90% from the line. He's, again, quite an underrated player, and he's been a big part of this Jazz run in the new year. In my opinion, he's a perfect C player.
Yeah,
I would put him probably higher in C just because he's been really good recently. Like as we're making this, he's coming off a 30 bomb against the Pacers
He's
and a
probably like
27, 4 and 5 against the
if
Lakers.
you think
He's
league
good.
average is middle of C, he'd be the top of C.
Yeah.
He's still quite a good player. I'm a big fan of his. Next up, we got Damian Lillard. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 42% field goal, 35% three-point, 92% free throw. He's definitely having a down season by his standards, but he's still Dame. He just hit that buzzer beater walk off. I mean,
game time.
Yeah.
he's. I'd still put him in A tier.
Yeah, I think A tier is good enough for him. I don't think he's an S tier type of player anymore, but I would say A tier is good for him. I would rather have him than Cade. I think he's a tier
He's
above
definitely
Cade,
still
but
a star.
he's not, he'll never be as good as Luca, which we'll get to earlier. So
Yes. Next up we got D'Lo. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. All right defender, 46% from the field, 39% from 3, 76% from the line. I hate D'Lo, but I'll let other people talk about him.
I think James, I think this is for you as the resident Laker. I think this is for you, man. Talk about D'Lo.
D'Lo, I actually like D'Lo. I think he gets overhated. I mean, D'Lo was out with an overhated. D'Lo gets or when D'Lo was out with an injury, we went on that big losing run, and when he comes back, we start winning. I mean, with D'Lo in, we win more than we lose, and I think he's a winning player. I think he's overhated by people like
I do
Smasher.
think he's worse than Colin Sexton, though. I would rather have Colin Sexton on my team.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, man. His aura.
He has aura.
We're not talking about aura. We're talking about. I think Colin Sexton's just a bit more efficient. And
Is he? What are Colin Sexton's efficiency numbers again? Or shooting numbers?
hold on. I go grab that.
They're-
But I just,
They're decently comparable, I would say.
I don't know. It's something about Sexton. I'd just rather have him on my team. But I'll let you guys vote on whether you want him
I'll be honest
above
with you.
or below.
Looking at the numbers right now, D'Lo's better at him at basically everything,
So you want D'Lo ahead?
except for true shooting percentage, but that's because his free throw is much lower.
We'll put D'Lo
I
ahead
think-
then.
I
think
think
we'll
D'Lo's a
put
much
D'Lo
better
ahead.
playmaker.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's that.
Ego.
Next up we got Darius Garland, who's been injured most of the season, but 21 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.6 steals, 47% field goal, 34% from 3, 83% from the free throw line. Again, he's got very big potential. He's still young. He's pretty good, but like this season has left a lot to the imagination because of his injuries.
Yeah, it's just I really like Darius Garland. I know if anybody else here has seen Darius Garland in 2K, that man be winning MVPs. I don't think he'll ever win an MVP, but I do think he's pretty solid. I would put him probably in that B tier. I think it's between him or Cade, whichever one you like better.
I think Cade,
I'd
just because
probably
he's
pick
been healthier
Cade.
this season.
Yeah, I'd probably
But
pick Cade, but
yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it's been injuries. If he was healthy, I could see him possibly pushing for an A tier, but it's
Yeah.
just the injuries have hurt him. Next up, we got De'Aaron Fox, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.6 steals, 47% field goal, about 40% from 3, and 72% from the free throw line. I am a huge fan of De'Aaron Fox. I love De'Aaron Fox. He is an
I
exciting
also
player
love
to
me some
watch.
De'Aaron Fox. I think De'Aaron
I've
Fox might be our first S tier player because I think he's just better than
man,
Dame at most things, honestly.
that's spicy.
I was gonna
And
say the
I've
very top of A.
I actually might agree with Aiden here. I could
I
see
think
him being S.
I've been looking at a lot of advanced stats. De'Aaron Fox takes like on average the second hardest 3-point shots in the league, and he hits them at almost 40%.
When
I
I
mean,
look at the
he's
players
ridiculous.
left,
You know what I mean?
I can probably only argue this year that 2 players have been better. So I think De'Aaron Fox is an S tier. I'll agree with you there. Next up, we've got Lakers legend Dennis Schroeder, who's now on the Raptors, even though he's wearing a Lakers jersey here. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 45% from the field, 36% from 3, and 85% free throw percentage. He's been good. Good playmaker for them. But I would put him around C tier still.
Yeah, I think probably below Sexton, but maybe above Cole Anthony.
Honestly, that's exactly what I was thinking. That is like, anyone got any objections?
Nope.
Nothing here.
I think that's honestly the perfect spot for him. Next up was a tough one to choose, but I chose Dennis Smith Jr. for this spot because he has overtaken Dinwiddie and been the starting point guard the last something like 5 or 6 games now. He's averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. On 40% field goal and 27% 3-point. First of all, I'd like to say since he started for the Nets have been better, but like those stats are really bad.
Yeah, with a true shooting percentage below 50% and averaging a triple single, I think he's going an F right next to that buffoon right there.
Hey, watch it.
I don't know what buffoon you're talking about. There's nobody in F right now.
Yeah, there's
Unfortunately,
nobody
I'd
else in there.
like to. He's been all right coming in the starter. He's got all right defense, but like, man, that offense is just brutal. He cannot shoot, which is vital for a point guard. Next up, we got Fred VanVleet, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. About 40% from the field, about 40% from 3, and 86% from free throw. He is, you think of 3-and-D players, he's more like a diming 3-point shooter. He gets his assists and he can knock down a 3.
I like Fred VanVleet. I think he's very overpaid. I wouldn't personally have given him that huge contract that they did for someone who doesn't really do much besides shoot threes and pass the ball.
I do
But
think he's improved since last year, though.
he's
That
definitely
might also
improved,
be.
but like it wasn't that hard to improve from 39% from the field, you know what I mean?
That also,
I would
he is.
I'd put him
coming
below
from-
Kobe White, honestly. I'd put him below Kobe White. I like Kobe better.
I like, even though I've got Bulls bias here, I would honestly put him right next to CJ McCollum. They are very similar players to me, with CJ
I'm
McCollum being
fine
a
with that.
better shooter. So
That's
I
fine.
would put him
The
below
three of them
CJ.
are, the three of them are all pretty.
But
close.
Yeah, I'll take away my Bulls bias
Mm.
and say I think he is slightly better than Kobe White. Next up, we got
Yeah.
Devin Booker. Usually a shooting guard, but this season he's been PG Book. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, about a steal, 48% from the field, 37% from 3, and 88% free throw. Everyone thought that the Suns team would struggle having him play point guard, but he has really adapted to that role well, and he's dishing out the assists.
Yeah, I think Devin Booker's done very well for himself. His team isn't that good. Like they're fine, but he's done very well. I think this might be our second A tier type of player, and I might put him over Dame.
I'd put him
I
above
might.
Dame.
I think he
Dame's
is
been
a.
slightly more efficient, but D-Book's had the volume.
I think
Yeah.
he's got a slight edge on Dame. Yeah.
He's doing what to Dame?
Whoa.
And
Next up, we got Ja Morant, unfortunately, been ruled out for the season with injury. But he still had to go on this list because he's amazing.
he's Ja.
In the games where he was healthy, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, with about a steal and half a block. 47% from the field, 27% from 3, 81% free throw. I would be inclined to say, because he played such limited games, automatically he's ruled out of S tier.
I can agree with that. I was
No
about
way
to
he was
say-
touching S tier either way.
Yeah, no, he was not going
I-
to go in S tier.
This is a hard one here. I don't know if he's bottom of A or top of B.
I would
'Cause
put him in
he
A.
has
I
been
think
so
I think
injured.
he's just a level above Cade Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? You
I feel
cannot
like he
watch
is
them
the better
both play
player.
and think that
That's-
they're on the same level. You know what I mean?
Ja's definitely the better player. It's just been, man, he's had a rough season.
rolling
suspension
suspensions and injuries and whatever else has stopped this man from playing this year out. He's
Yeah.
definitely an A tier player.
I think he when he's healthy. If he was healthy and with the Grizzlies this whole year, I think he could be putting up similar stats to De'Aaron Fox. Worse 3-point efficiency, but I think he could be quite similar. But unfortunately, he's been riddled with injury and suspension.
And,
Next
questionable
up, we got
actions.
Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson averaged 26, 4, 6.5, 1 steal, 46% from the field, 42% from 3, 83% free throw. He has had another big step forward, and I definitely have him in A tier at least.
Yeah, I'd put him in A tier, and I think because of health and 3-point shooting, I'd probably put him over Ja. And I think he's on a very similar level to Dame.
I think he's better than
I
Dame.
just-
I'll go out
Yeah,
and say
he might
I
be better
think
than
he's better than Dame.
I wouldn't hate
You know
that.
what?
I would not hate
Just-
that.
He's
Man,
definitely
he's
better
having
than
a good
Dame.
year.
That 3-point percentage is crazy.
I remember when he went 9 of 9 from 3 against the Suns. I had never seen Dame do
He
that.
is crazy. Next up, we got Jamal Murray. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 1 steal, 0.7 blocks, 47% from the field, 41% from 3, 87% from the line. Again, his stats, the 20 points per game, it doesn't look like a heat, but I mean, he doesn't have to do
But he's on
as
the
much
Nuggets.
scoring when he's with Jokic. So, I
think for him, it's very impressive that he's getting 6.5 assists per game. All things considered, he's not really the ball handler, and Jokic be getting like 10
I'll be
assists a
honest,
game.
this might be a hot take, but I'd have him bottom of A.
No,
Really? I just think it's really impressive. He's putting up these numbers on a Nuggets
he's
team
just
with Jokic.
if this was in the playoffs, he's going in S tier. All right, did you what? Oh my God, I ain't never
Oh,
seen a
he's
player
ridiculous.
play like crazy in the playoffs. But
Right,
no,
if
I
we're
would
gonna put him B, he's top of B.
I put him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put him next to Cade. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say he's better than Cade.
yeah.
He's
You
just
would
the
say that.
playoff experience, and man, has he been averaging those sort of numbers with Jokic next year is pretty good.
Yeah.
Next up, we got James Harden, 17 points, 4.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 1.2 steals, 1 block, 45% field goal, 42% 3-point, 87% free throw. He's been really efficient and really good since moving to the Clippers, taking a different role, not scoring as much, and being a really good playmaker.
Yeah, he is. James Harden is still that guy, right? He's not the system. I know he said he was a system. He's not the system, right? But he is a big part about why the Clippers are so good. I think he's probably sitting in that B tier for me right now.
I think he's
But
just either above or just below Jamal Murray. They're very similar to me
yeah,
with
I'd
their
put him
numbers.
below Jamal Murray just because Jamal Murray got that ring, and I ain't never seen Harden sniff a ring before, so
Harden ain't got any silverware yet, but hey, maybe
he
he'll
he,
get
he
one this
never
year for the
will.
Clippers.
No, he never will.
Next, we've got Josh Giddey, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, about a steal, half a block, 45% field goal, 36% three, 81% free throw. Obviously, fellow Australian. I really want to see him succeed, even through the allegations. But although I think he's gotten better at his 3-point shooting, he's kind of gotten a bit worse everywhere else.
Yeah, I bet Josh Giddey is really content with averaging about 12 points per game though. I think that's a good number for where
Oh
he's
my
at right now.
goodness.
And I think honestly he's probably sitting in C for me, maybe D, just because he
No, he's
cannot
not
shoot three
D.
pointers. He
He's
can't
been
shoot the
better at
three, man.
threes though. He's shooting about
Yeah,
36%, which is better than Cole
yeah,
Anthony. He's
yeah,
put
but I
up
don't
better
know.
stats all round than Cole Anthony. I think he's slots in
Yeah,
just
but
here.
yeah, but Cole Anthony's not done anything wrong, you know?
Okay, yeah, but we're not talking about off the field issues here. Otherwise, we would have tanked Jar. So
That's true.
I'm
John Giddey would go in F.
We need a jail tier.
I'm saying we're not talking about.
We've needed a jail tier for a few of these lists
thinking-
already.
I'm thinking
Bro.
either side of Dennis Schroeder. What do you think?
Lower side. He's Dennis Schroeder's a Laker
Lower
legend.
Real.
I do think he's here for now, but obviously he's young. He's got potential. He can still move up the list, but he's having a bit of a slump this year. Although it is hard to look impressive next to Shea fucking Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, Jesus. Next up, we got Drew Holiday, 13 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 0.9 steals, 0.8 blocks, 45% field goal, 40% three, 82% from free throw. Again, he's part of a Celtics team that's well built, well-oiled machine, obviously, but I think he's taken a step back, obviously, since leaving the Bucks, both performance-wise and just minutes-wise, like how
Yeah.
involved he is in the offense, obviously.
Well, he doesn't really have to be involved in the offense. He's kind of just he just kind of plays defense now. That's about all he does.
And yeah, you see those steals numbers and they've gone down, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
because he's gotten worse at defending. I just think he's not getting as many steals. He's still one
You
of
know,
the
I
best.
saw, I
You
saw,
do not
I
want
saw
him
the
to
other
shut
day
down.
they've been putting him in the paint sometimes to defend inside the paint. Because
And
if
again,
anybody
I
drives
will
to the
say this,
basket, he can defend that.
but the Celtics are like one of the top 5 teams at guarding guards. The Bucks, since losing him, are the worst team at guarding guards. So he's definitely making. You can see the impact he had. I would be inclined still to put him in B tier.
Yeah, I think B tier is probably good for
And
him.
I
I think,
think he's better than Kobe White, in my opinion.
yeah, I would put him probably
Also
right
been
next
better
to
than
CJ
Van
McCollum.
Vliet.
I'd take him over Van Vliet. Van Vliet sucks.
I think efficiency, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I think I'd rather have Drew Holiday on my team over CJ. Just because that
I
defense.
wouldn't. I don't think Drew Holiday's as good of a defender as people say he is.
Okay. We'll
I
keep
just
him there then.
I watched Jimmy Butler put his nuts in his mouth. I mean, I watched it happen on live TV.
Jesus,
I
okay.
mean he dropped 56 on Drew Holiday, then told him that he owns him, and Drew Holiday shrunk into nothing.
Next up,
I
we've
can't
got
get that
Kyle
image out of my head.
Lowry. 9 points, 3.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 45% field goal, 42% for 3-point, 83% free throw. And we will let the Heat fan take this one.
All right, so BBL Lowry. All right, he's had a better year than he did last year. The defense is still pretty bad, but he's a great chaser. He likes to chase people around the court, and his efficiency's been much better. I think he's probably sitting in D because he is not better than Cole Anthony. I don't care how efficient he is. That man cannot play any defense. But I think D is probably good for him because he's better than Dennis Smith Jr. and whoever that is. I don't know who the other guy in F is.
I'll 100% back you up there and say, yeah, I mean, high D tier. But also, that might be a bit biased because, man, that contract's awful.
It's only for 1 year.
Only for one more year, but like...
Yeah, thank God. Get him out of here. Get Lowry off my damn team.
Next up, we got LaMelo Ball, just coming back from injury. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 1.7 steals. The second most turnovers in the league with 4. But 43% field goal, 37% 3-point, 87% free throw. I mean, a lot of these stats is because who else on the Hornets is he supposed to give it to besides Scary Terry?
Yeah, and there's just nothing else on the team. It's just kind of him trying stuff the entire game. And he's very fun to watch, and his efficiency isn't as bad as it has been in recent years. I like LaMelo. I think he's very good. I think he's got a lot of potential, but I would, I think top of B is probably good for him because I think he's better than Jamal Murray.
Really, I would say, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather have Jamal Murray on my team at the moment because he's shown that he's a leader.
Yeah, but if I needed a star though, I would pick LaMelo. You know what I mean?
Individual player, I think he's better. This one's pretty self-explanatory. If we had another tier for
sexy MF and S.
if we had another tier for Luka, that's where he is. 33.5 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 1.5 steals, 0.6 blocks. Tied second in the league with LaMelo with turnovers with 4. 48% field goal, 38% free throw, 38% 3-point, 78% free throw. He's an top 3 MVP candidate. He's pretty.
He's Luka Magic. Yeah.
He kind of just.
He is so good. He makes people think Kyrie Irving is washed. That's how good he is. He's so good. He makes Kyrie Irving look washed.
Luka is just one of the best players to watch too. He's just so effortless. And next up, we got Mike Conley. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 1 steal, 45% field goal, 45% 3-point, 94% free throw. Again, this guy is like the perfect fit for the Timberwolves, in my opinion. A good defender, and a playmaker that can shoot efficiently. He's just like... That was one of the best trades I've seen the Timberwolves do, because they just brought in the perfect guy for them. He just complements the team so well.
I think for me, he probably goes in C tier, but like high C tier. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's on the same level as like Kobe White, but yeah, I would put him. I'd snug him in right there.
I'd do top of C, very close to B.
Yeah.
But man, is he perfect for that team.
He is him.
Next, we've got Ice Trae Young. 27.5 points, 3 rebounds, 11 assists, 1.5 steals. Leads the league in turnovers with 4.2. Field goal percentage, 42%. 3-point for 36%. 85% free throw. He's Ice Trae Young, man. He's at least A tier. He is A tier in my opinion.
Yeah, I would put him. I think he's probably
a bit better this year.
Yeah, I think for me, he's probably above Devin Booker just because imagine if Trae Young had Kevin Durant on his damn team. Trae Young might average 15 assists if he had freaking Kevin Durant on his team.
He's been a bit more inefficient this year, but like, he's still him. He's still Trae Young. I mean,
he's Ice Trae.
You can't really.
Trae Young is my goat.
Next up, we've got this again was a weird one because I mean, Pop has weird lineups, and usually he puts
Because
Sochan at
he's
point guard for
dementia
some
ridden.
reason. But Trey Jones is who I picked because he should be the point guard. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 49% from field, 26% from 3, 88% from free throw. In my opinion, this is a D tier player.
Yeah, I think he's right below Lowry because I would rather
think
have
he's worse than
Lowry's
Larry because Larry
3-point shooting.
defense and
Yeah.
efficiency. But yeah, it's a shame because I thought he'd be a lot better playing with Wemby. I thought he'd be the sort of guy that's getting 10 assists, lobbing it up to Wemby every game, but he's not as good as I thought he was. Next up, we've got Chef Steph Curry, 27 points, 4.2 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 1 steal, 3.1 turnovers, 44% field goal, about 40% three, 92% free throw. When you look at his season, and you say this is a down season for Steph, that is just like that's a compliment to how good he's been. I mean, when you're averaging 27 points on 40% from three, people are calling you washed and saying it's a down year. You know he's elite.
God, I mean, he's difficult to rank now. I think he is Steph Curry, so I'm still putting him in S tier. I don't care if the efficiency's down. The man has the least amount of help he's ever had in his entire career, which
I'm
he
happy putting him
100%
S.
deserves. He deserves to finally not have help, but still, he's still him. You know what I mean? He's still got 4 rings and a Finals MVP, and he's
I mean,
he's
even
Steph.
not counting his other
And
years, it's just
and
he's still
and he
got that
likes feet.
limitless three.
He
And he
likes
likes
feet.
feet.
All right, we gotta make sure that's in there. He likes
He
feet.
is
Like
crazy. I think he's really cool, and
This
even though it's a down year, he's still amazing.
this might be his last year in S. If we do another one of these next year, this might be his last year in
you're probably
yes.
not wrong.
Yeah.
But again, he's old. He's
Listen,
Also-
hey, all I'm gonna say is LeBron wasn't washed at Curry's age. I hate Curry.
LeBron's got that frame. He's safe from a few more years. He's athletic with that frame.
Whoa.
You like his frame?
Yeah, I like his frame, man.
You're
All right, next up we got Tyrese Halliburton, my goat.
Put him right next to Trey.
24 points, 12.5 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 50% from the field, 40% from 3, 86% from free throw.
Put
with
him
2 less turnovers.
right below my
Trey.
goat Trey. Right below my goat
So
Trey.
I'm going to make my argument first of why I think he's better than Trey. I think he's top of A. I don't think he's as good as Steph Curry, because Steph Curry is Steph Curry. But, so first of all, I'll make my point. You can counter-argue after. Tyrese Halliburton averages 4 less points, 2 more assists, 1 more rebound, the same amount of steals, about half a block more. But he shoots 8% better from the field, 4% better from 3, and 1% better from free throw, with 2 less turnovers. You can say that he's a system player or whatever, but by the stats, I think he is a better player than Trae Young. Only slightly, but I just think that efficiency is very hard to beat. Even if you're averaging 4 points less, that 2 assists makes up for it. And then the efficiency.
Now, normally, I would counter argue you. However, I don't want this video to last another 30 minutes of us bullshitting about Trae Young and Halliburton. Also, I'm sick and can't handle that right now. I will let you put him above Trae.
No, I don't want Aiden and James. I want you to.
I actually fully agree with what you said. I wanted him top of A. I just didn't think he was as good as Curry. I thought you were gonna argue that he's better than Curry, and I was gonna get pissed at you.
No. I was thinking that before the video, but looking back at Curry's numbers, the narrative is that he's washed. He's still really good. I mean, him being washed is still better than anyone in A tier. But yeah, I think again they're basically the same player. I mean, just one's more efficient and one shoots more. One puts up more numbers. But yeah, they're the goats. They're great. Assist merchants.
They are assist merchants.
Next up, we got Tyrese Maxey having a kind of a breakout year. I mean, he was good last
I
year as
know.
well.
No,
But
he's definitely having a breakout year. He's
without,
much better
I mean, it
than
was
he was
more
last
kind
year.
of because, man, he was still pretty good last year. But this year, he's
Yeah.
really good. 26 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. The most minutes per game in the NBA with almost 38. 45% field goal, about 38% from 3, 86% free throw, and the 5th best plus minus. He is a bucket getter.
He is a bucket getter, but those assist numbers are not slouchy, and he gets very little turnovers. If I was going to put him anywhere, I think I'd put him right next to Jalen Brunson. I think they're very similar.
I think
I
he's
just
slightly
yeah, I was
better.
gonna
I think he's
say,
slightly better than
yeah,
Brunson.
which
I
I
think
just
it's very
I
similar.
I would put him lower because Brunson has to be the guy. Maxi has Embiid.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But I do think he's better than Dame. Tyrese Maxey's having a brilliant
Yeah,
season.
real.
Good for him. I mean, breaking out without Harden there. Next up, we got
Yeah.
Tyus Jones. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.2 steals, less than 1 turnover, 52% field goal, 42% 3-point, 73% free throw. I became a fan of him back when he was the backup point guard, the best backup point guard in the league for the Grizzlies. Since he's come to the Wizards, I don't really think he's proven that he's a starting point guard, but he's been really efficient. I feel like he is the best bench point guard in the league. He's just starting for a really bad team.
Yeah, I would, as a Heat fan, I really want Tyus Jones on my team. I'm tired of Lowry. Tyus
Well,
Jones
I'm
is definitely an
thinking
upgrade over
we're
Lowry.
going through C tier. He's
Yeah, he's
better,
definitely C
better,
tier.
better, better, better. Is he better than Conley?
I just, it's so hard
I
to
don't.
compare because Tyus Jones is on like the second worst team and Conley's on the best team.
I think he's slightly worse because
Yeah,
Conley is a slightly better defender.
yeah.
But man, Bryce Jones again is probably one of the best bench point guard in the league.
Yeah.
Any competing team would be very lucky to get him.
As a Heat fan, I'm
Uh,
currently trying to call Pat Riley and tell him to trade for this man.
Next, we're gonna just discuss the elephant in the room, which is Scoot Henderson at the bottom of Earth that we've had there since the start of the video.
He's ass. That's all you need to know.
Sorry to every Scoot fan out there. I was also a Scoot fan. I was really hoping he'd become the next John Morant, and he might still. But 13 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3.5 turnovers on 36% from the field, 30% free throw,
30% from
72%,
three,
30%
72% from free
three,
throw.
72% free throw, -8 plus minus. He has been really, really,
With a
really,
true
really,
shooting of
really bad.
45%, which is probably the lowest on this entire list.
Even though, I mean, his last game against Phoenix looks good on paper, and then you have a look at his field goal percentage, and
Well,
it's just because he got so many shots.
Most good Scoot Henderson games. It's where he just takes a ton of shots. Listen, I think
You're
I
like,
think
oh, 33 points. Yeah, but he took 31 shots to get
Yeah.
there.
Damn.
I think Scoot Henderson still has a lot of potential. I think he had some problems with his development. Clearly, the G League does not teach you how to shoot because they didn't teach him how to shoot. He was bad at shooting in the G League, and I think people got so caught up in his G League highlights. He's a good athlete. He's not John Morant athlete. He will never be a John Morant athlete type.
I
He's
think
not that
if
athletic.
he improves,
He's
I still
just-
think in
He
2
could
years,
be
I think he
good.
could be a B tier.
Yeah,
But
I just
I don't see his
I
ceiling
don't
as
think
high.
he doesn't have that John Morant potential level. He's probably got like that, I don't know, like Darius Garland type
Yeah,
ceiling, I
yeah.
guess. Which
That's a
Darius
fair
Garland is
word.
great. That's a franchise point guard right there. But like he's not John Morant, which sucks. I really thought he would be good, but
Yeah, I'd
I mean
say he's
shit,
a
Brandon Miller
franchise
might be
player.
better than him.
He's a franchise potential player. He's not a superstar potential player. Like,
Yeah.
probably these 3 and these 3. That's 6. what you would call a guy you would just completely devote your team to. They're superstars. He is not gonna be near there. He's more in this B tier range.
Yeah,
But
I think
that's
Darius
probably the
Garland
end
is
of this.
good for him.
Probably the end of this video. James, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if you'd move anyone. I'd personally move Scoot Henderson to S tier. But yeah, make sure you check out our socials. Links are in the description, and thank you for watching.